Hi all, and welcome to the second Overmind stream. Today we will be having a couple of games of Starcraft. We will be having Serral playing against some top bots from the Overmind ladder. Before we start the games, let's watch a short video from our other bot today, Sludge2. And we will be having a game against a player called Dub, also quite high in the ladder. So let's go into the game. So here we go. The game is played in fast mode in 8x speed because it would be quite long otherwise. So here we have Dub, who's playing with Tyrion as blue player, and on the other corner we have Sludge2 playing as red Jurg. And here Dub is taking an expansion and building a couple of bunkers, actually 4 of them, to defend the base. And on the other side, Sludge2 is expanding to 2 bases, I think, and now 3. So Jurg has now considerably more income and is building both Roach Warren and Hydraulic Den and some upgrades, while Tyrion is building some bunkers and defending the attacks with tanks. There is some Jurg army there, like a couple of Hydraulics and Roaches, and Tyrion is building battle cruisers already, so the defense looks quite strong, but Sludge is on 3 bases, maybe 4 now, so the income is obviously favoring the Jurg player here. So some armies gathering around the ramp, but every time they try to push, the tanks just kill them all instantly. And then one battle cruiser tries to teleport and do some damage in the Jurg's main base, but that doesn't succeed. So now we are again gathering some army and then going in. But the tanks defend the push quite well, and there are still 4 bunkers and I think 3 tanks. So the push wasn't even close, but the Tyrion's main base is now empty and he's actually distance mining from the third. The Jurg army still can't get in, but it's getting stronger and stronger every time. And now it also has some corruptors, and it has taken most of the bases on the right side of the map. So the Jurg army goes in. Now it has Brute Lords too, and they are going to kill the tanks quite easily. The bunkers are still holding, but I think Tyrion has nothing to shoot back with, so it's going to be quite bad for him. So the bunkers start taking some damage. Brugger's still trying to repair them, but the Brute Lords are actually doing quite a lot of damage, and nothing is still shooting them. So the defense falls, last bunker falls, and Jurg rushes into the main base. So it looks like the game's over. Most of the buildings are dying. The natural is still trying to mine something, but I think it will be soon killed. Yeah, a couple of portals come in and kill the base. And then one last gas left for Tyrion, and he's revealed, so Sludgeman should see the last gas here. But nothing happens. The gas isn't killed. Sludgeman is taking every other base in the map. I think there are only 2 bases not taken yet. And the gas is still not under attack, so we will be rewinding forward a bit, because this is going to take quite a while. So every base is taken. And the last gas is just staying there, not doing anything. It cannot do anything, but it's not doing anything either. Every base is taken. Lots of minerals are being gathered. I think around 50,000 here. And the gas still waits. Minerals are maybe going to exhaust sometime. No, a couple of workers come in and they start killing the gas. Maybe 6,000 gas wasn't enough for Sludgeman, so the workers are going to kill the gas quite soon, actually. So the workers hit the gas, and the gas refinery is starting to burn, and pretty soon it will be burned completely, and Sludgement will win the game. So, that was the first game from the ladder. I think that was sometime last week. The Sludgement bot has been improved since. So let's have Pyro here, the creator of Sludgement, to comment about the next game. Welcome.
Yo.
So, what do you think? You will be now going against Serral instead of Dub, and it will be GBZ, and I think you told me earlier that the bird has improved quite a lot, so how you're feeling?
Okay, so that last game was pretty embarrassing, to be honest. I don't know why it was not attacking the refinery, and I don't know why it was attacking the tanks. Hopefully that's fixed now. But yeah, the next game against Serral. Well, I thought I wouldn't win, but Serral just said that he almost lost to it. So I don't even know what's real anymore. Probably not gonna win still.
Yeah, well, I think we will have to see about that. Let's see what Serral has to say about this. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
So, what do you think? You saw the game, or did you even see that previous game?
I saw some of the game. It was very impressive stuff. I did say that I was struggling with the bot, but yeah, it was might have been I was slightly exaggerating it.
I don't believe you. It was genuine fear in your eyes.
That's
so, what do you think? Can you actually, if you play against Tyrion, can you see the last gas, or do you have to wait like 20 minutes for the last gas?
I'm confident I can find the last gas if it's needed.
Good. Okay, but this is not against Tyrion. This is against Jurg. So ZVZ is your most best matchup, right?
Well, I would say I'm most confident in it for sure, but not. At least against human players, I'm pretty confident in it. But against bots, it might be a little different story.
Yeah, great. So for the next game, when Serral plays against Sludgement, we will be having Oki, the creator of the Another bot, playing today, Serpent Edge. He will be commenting on the game with me. So please come here and say your thoughts about the next game. So what do you think? What will happen?
I don't think Sludge has too much of a chance to win.
Aww.
It might have had a chance before Serral played games against it, but now it has seen it, I think.
Yeah. Well, let's go into the game and let's see. Yes. So, in the game, on the right edge, playing with Green Jurg, Serral, we will be watching the game from Serral's perspective because of the limitations in the Starcraft 2 API, but we will be still seeing what he's doing. So nothing actually happening yet because it's the start of the game. Just a couple of drones being made over our scouting. Sludgement is located on the other side of the map, naturally, and Serral is going to take the first base pretty soon.
Yeah, there's the natural hatchery.
We require more minerals. We require more minerals. We require more minerals. We require
Anything
more
is not
minerals.
visible yet. The first overlord is now halfway across the map. It's going to scout the opponent's natural pretty soon, but it is still quite standard. Zerg versus Turk opening, taking the spawning pole on 16 supply and gas on the same supply count, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, gas finishes. Workers move to the gas, and spawning pool halfway complete. Now the first scouting overlord will be starting to move closer to the natural base, and we'll see if there's any expansions there. At home, the natural base is going to finish pretty soon, and I think we will be seeing some tech branching and what will happen next pretty soon.
I think Sludge plays pretty normal,
Well,
standard.
yeah, well, I don't think we have seen anything really yet from Sludge.
We require more Vespine gas. We require more minerals.
Yeah, so the first overlord goes into Sludge's natural base, and it sees that Sludge has a natural. Well, the answer is scraped yet. No, yeah, there's the base. So this will be a macro game, at least for a bit, because there's one expansion, but some Zerglings are immediately moving across the map. Serral, of course, sees them, but still confidently takes the turret base.
We require more minerals.
And takes Baneling Nest, so he's thinking about playing a Ling vs Ling game where Banelings are
We
really
require
good.
more minerals.
So 2 Lings come in to the natural, no speed yet. See 6 Lings and a Queen, 8 Lings and another Queen. Actually there's 10 Lings now. They cannot scout anything important yet. Oh, there's a building. I couldn't even see what it was, but probably a Roach Warren.
Yeah, I think that's the Rose Warren.
And Cyril's own, I think that's Roach Warren 2 is being built onto natural. No, it's a Baneling Nest. Okay. So a couple Banelings immediately building. They will be quite useful against the Zerglings of Flashman. The link count seems even, but of course I cannot be sure because I can't see what Sludgeman is actually doing. And some roaches also moving across the map. Serral still has no roaches, so it might be tough to defend with only links. But Sludgeman has quite a lot of links, but they are all just running and trying to catch Serral's 2 Zerglings that are just scouting.
Was that Serral's Rose Warren there in the natural?
That might have been. I think we'll be seeing that soon. Yeah, I think that's Roach Warren. Yeah, it is. So now both players have Roach Warrens, and we haven't seen fort base from Sludgeman yet. Serral isn't taking fort base either, so it's 3 bases versus 3 bases. Of course, Serral has his turret up yet already, and Sludgeman is just starting it right now.
We require more minerals.
So first roaches pop out, and I think the Zergling count is really high right now, so I'll have to see what Sludgeman is doing.
Sludge sought all those Zerglings with the Overlord, so he knows how many Serral has at the moment.
Yeah, the link count's actually quite high. Serral has 2 Banelings, so they might do really do damage here, but the roach count from Sludgeman is also quite high. So the links shouldn't do that much against the roaches. Let's see.
Nice dodging from Sludge.
Yeah. The Zerglings are actually dodging the Banelings quite well.
We require
But now Serral's roaches come in, and he surrounds the Sludgeman's army. That was really bad, actually. Sludgeman loses most of the Zerglings and all Zerglings actually, and most roaches as well.
There's the rest of the Serral's army.
Yeah,
coming.
that will be pushing to the turret base really soon. Sludgeman has next to nothing left, I think. Oh, he has quite a lot of roaches. It might be enough to actually defend this one. Yeah, the roach count seems to be high enough for this. But Serral has quite a lot of links coming in as well, and they might be too much. Not yet. Both players have actually quite a good roach macro. Roach Micro as they are pulling back to Roaches.
Seems
think-
like Slotke evacuated the base.
Yeah, the
Wow.
workers are leaving, and the Ravagers are using the biles to actually zone out the rest of the army, so they cannot easily engage anymore. So Serral has I don't think he even has more army than Sludgeman has. Not lots of it, I think. But Serral has one more saturated base at this point. No, Sludgeman can pull the workers back to the third base, so the economy might be even. I'm sure. And counter biles are actually used too, so both players have Ravagers now.
Have you seen the fourth base for Slot?
No, there's no fourth base for either player, I think. Some wings are going into the natural third base of Sludgeman, and they are catching lots of drones. Yeah, I think that was at least 10 drones killed by the Jerklings, and none of the Jerklings died. They can just run back.
Yeah, that was pretty bad for Slots.
Yeah. Serral's army is also getting pretty big right now. And the Jerkling run-bys are actually doing lots of damage. The natural is empty too. What about the main base? Oh, there's some workers, but not for too long.
Yeah, I think the game's almost here.
Yeah. Seems to be quite close to being over.
Mineral field depleted.
Serral is still just 3 bases, but their Jerkling run-bys are just sniping the bases at burgers. There are still some drones mining, but not too many.
Mineral field depleted.
Yeah. The drones are just dying almost for free. And the third base is...
Roaches here. Where were those before?
Oh, I think Sludge must have piled up some researches to build a massive roach ball, but Serral has lots of roaches as well, so I'm not sure if that's enough. It might be. Pushing up that ramp might be dangerous. No, it isn't. Sludgeman is just going to defend the natural, I think. The third base has fallen. So Serral goes into natural base, and Sludgeman is just retreating to the main base. I'm sure if that's a good strategy. It shouldn't be. The workers are leaving also, so Serral will be getting to natural base for free. That's a layer as well, so I'm not even sure if Sludge has another layer. So technology will be lost here as well. And now Serral is just pushing into the main base, and I don't think there's enough defense left for.
Yeah, I don't think Slotke has anything left at this point.
Yeah. I think it will be over in under a minute at this point. The defense is still. There is something, but not enough for the roach ball. Like Serral has way too many roaches for this to work. Yeah. So the last buildings are falling. So, game's over.
Okay. Hey, I'm Tuomas from Reaktor. So, how was the game? How do you think, Serral? I just checked that your last game, like a month ago, took a bit over 7 minutes. Now, I think this one took 10 minutes, 15 seconds. So, was this harder than last time?
Well, it was a lot harder, but I actually was kind of surprised because I thought I thought I was losing at one point. But actually it ended up that it was literally 0 drones at the natural base. So I don't think I was losing at any point, but I actually thought I was losing at some point. I don't think the build I was using was the best one. Normally you want a bit more drones when you're all inning like this, but yeah, I mean, it was a lot harder than the last 2 times for sure anyways.
Yeah, so Pyry, this was the second time Serral was playing against your bot. How would you describe? it looked really much harder for him this time. How would you comment on this?
So this is a completely new bot. It's
Yeah.
totally different from the one that we had in February.
Okay.
But it was bugged. So what happened was that it never scouted the natural. That's why it was all inning. I mean, it was just making units at 28 drones because it never saw your natural base.
My natural or
Yes.
my third?
Either one. Oh, actually, might have seen the third later on and then thought that was your natural. But the problem was that it's never been tested on that map. And on that map, the natural, like the fourth base location is closer than the natural to the main base. So it sent the overlord to the fourth base location instead of sending it to the natural. So it never knew that you had a natural to begin with. And then what happened is that, I had a bunch of units, right? And all of those units just chased two links because they didn't know of any other units on the map. They only knew of those two units. So, on a different map might be a different story. But I mean, wouldn't still win. But
Well,
it would be a little
maybe
bit
on a different map, I would understand what's happening better as well.
Actually, we're ready for this next game, where we are having your bot, Sharpened Edge. Actually, your bot has won the Sludge 2. So in a way, the next game should be tougher, right?
well, Sludge 2-1 against Sharpened Edge as well.
Oh, okay. So there's been games either way.
Yeah.
So what are your expectations on the next game?
I've played my bot myself a lot as Zerg. I'm not all that good, but I managed to win it at some point after practicing like dozens of times. But I think Serral is so much better than me that he will easily win in his first try.
Okay, so let's see how this goes. Go ahead.
So, in the second game, on the red here, I think sounds a bit green, as Serral tends to change color.
All right, I will
yeah.
be commentating with Hannes here.
Yeah, so Pyri, the creator of Sludge 2, is commentating with me here.
Yep. Okay, so Serral, of course, gonna always play standard. He always plays standard against the bots, and I actually really like that. So he lets the bots show what they've got. Very nice.
Yeah, so I think it's the same opening again here. Yeah, taking natural as early as feasible.
Yeah, so what Serral does here, which is really interesting, is when he takes the 16 hatch, he actually sends the drone a little early, the third base. And so if it sees a probe coming, a probe scout, that is trying to block the natural, then he can send the drone to the third instead of the natural and make a base there. It's a really nice meta game here.
Yeah,
I think it's necessary on this map.
And here's the probe, scouting to natural base, I think, right now. To Overlord, so it's just seconds ago. Spawning bull is also being built here, so Serral is really playing standard. It's the exact same build
This is
as
16
earlier.
hatch, 16 hatch, 18 gas, and 17 pool.
Oh, okay.
The standard build, basically, it's what he does.
Yeah, so the gas was a bit earlier last time, but still almost the same build. So the probe just scouts the main base and goes through the mineral line, I think. Not going there. It might be a bit risky. Scouts natural.
So I wonder what Sharpened Edge is scouting for here. Does it have responses to different builds that Zerg is doing? Maybe if there was a 12 pool, it would do some response. This is then standard timing to scout for a real player, but
yeah, it might actually also counter minerals and think that can there be a third base soon, or is it just unit or 2 base economy?
For bots you can very easily just count the amount of workers that the opponent has if you scout like this, and scout for things that might be hard to scout for a real player.
Serral scouts the Sharpened Edge's natural wall, and it's a bit open wall, but still it's going to be a wall pretty soon, I think. Takes third base and then moves some jerklings across the map.
Serral will try to dodge the adept with this link and get in and see what exactly is going on.
Yeah, so the adept was chrono boosted earlier, so the scouting probe dies to the queen. And then Firstling comes in and tries to scout to main base.
Looks like the Zealot was already being hold positioned in the wall, so it doesn't chase after the Ling. Ling's is just able to do whatever it wants.
Yeah, so the Adept is now moving across the map, and some probes are actually trying to chase the Jerkling. Adept goes into natural, and 4 Lings are already here to catch it.
And this micro by Sharpened Edge, while it might not look as impressive to a real player, it's actually really hard to do that with a bot. So I've actually really love what Sharpened Edge is doing. Obviously, he shouldn't have let the Shade finish because the links were already there, but it was still really nice.
Yeah.
Micro.
Well, yeah, the decision making isn't perfect, but the micro is actually quite good. So, and the strategy is by itself correct.
Yeah, so I know what strategy Sharpened Edge is going for, and I gotta say, it's a real memer.
Oh, so a robotics facility and Twilight Council. So will it be Dark Templar drops?
No.
No, not really.
No, Serral can hear us, so we can't talk too much.
Yeah. But he actually saw the buildings too. So here's an Immortal onto natural, and was Stalker just killing the Overlord.
Yeah, so this is the third Stalker, so it is a little weird timed because it won't be able to deny scouting. You know, usually you'd make the Stalker as your first or second unit out of the gateway.
Yeah, so gas is finished on the Serral's natural, and Serral is going to get quite a lot of gas pretty soon. So it will be for upgrades, roaches, or hydraulics, or maybe even Spire.
So yeah, this lair is basically for detection most of the time, but you can also get the roach speed obviously against some builds. Usually you delay it if it's an all-in, which it looks a little bit like it's an all-in.
Yeah, it might be. Not taking short base by 5-minute mark is definitely a marker for an all-in, but
5-minute work is still possible to make a base.
Yeah, it's possible, but
there's Immortal
unusual.
being made and all this stuff. It usually points to some kind of attack at least.
Yeah.
And Protoss has to attack.
Yeah, and I think
Here it's coming.
some Immortals walking out, and I think Sharpened Edge has now 5 or 6 warp gates. So yeah, and warp prisms complete, as well as the Zealot leg speed charge.
Serral has definitely identified this as the Marjorie now, the metagame build in ZVP, and it's very strong. And we'll see. This execution by Sharpened Edge isn't even too bad. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but now the Churk is killing most of the units without Immortals being here. So yeah, I think
Got crushed really hard.
yeah, the execution was really bad actually here. The Zealots went in without super from the Immortals, and then they just died. And now the Queens also catch the War Prism, so there isn't any counterattacks coming.
Yeah, it looks like Sharpened Edge didn't quite have the timing down. I'm not sure what the game time is. A little over 5 minutes. Actually,
it's 6.5, I think.
Oh, 6.5. Okay, so normally the timing would be a little over 5 minutes, and I think this hit at like 5:30 or 5:40.
Yeah, so it was a bit slow.
It was a little slow, and Serral was able to react. It seems like he was around like 40 drones when the attack landed, so that was pretty much perfect amount.
Now there is quite a lot of roaches coming into the natural, and they're killing the units outside the wall. There are some units inside the wall, but I'm not sure if that's enough to actually hold down the attack, because now Turk can use the buildings as a choke point.
Serral put down the Spire, but definitely not necessary.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. The game is practically over. Like, workers are being pulled, and they will die pretty soon to the massive roach ball. That's just walking into the natural, killing the pylon before the units can even warp in. And then just pushing into the main base. So this game will be over pretty soon as well. Just macroing, and then killing the main base, and then killing more of the main base, and then just focusing down the nexus with the roaches, then going to kill some probes.
I love how Serral is trying to optimize the amount of time it takes to win the game.
Actually, Sharpness is I think that's congratulating Serral for the win. So
Yeah, Sharpened Edge has definitely the best voice lines out of, well, not voice lines, but chat lines out of any bot.
yeah,
True to its name.
yeah. So I think the main base Nexus is going to. Yeah, it's down. So I think Serpent Edge will be revealing pretty soon, if he even has any buildings left after this. He might have a hidden Nexus in the alternative third base or something, but
I sure as hell hope not.
yeah, he's being revealed. So the game will be over right now.
Okay, game over. Great. So welcome back. Welcome back. So Serral, how was this second game on your behalf?
Well, I did get a sneak peek on the build already because of the leaks, but the funny thing with this build is that you're actually not supposed to micro at all, so bot doesn't get any advantage. You're actually just supposed to go in.
Okay.
The more you micro it, the more you control your units with this build, it's just worse.
Okay. So
basically it's not the best bot build, but I think it's nice to see a similar build to what like human players do.
Okay.
Because execution wasn't exactly the best, but still I think it looked around the same to some extent at least.
Okay. So Aki, you actually watched the game. So how did it look to you?
Yeah, it went kind of as expected. It is like 1 minute late because it plays in a pot ladder and we have a lot of 12 pools.
Okay.
And if you do the markery like it's supposed to be done, you lose always to 12 pool, like
Okay.
always.
Yeah.
And you would lose to bots that are in the bottom in the ladder,
Okay.
and you would lose a lot of points. So it is a little safer. It makes a Celot too early, and actually the normal build doesn't have a Celot.
Okay.
And it makes another gateway to block the wall earlier to protect itself against different rushes.
Okay. Okay. So actually, it looked to me that Serral wins kind of easily. The second game was like 2 minutes faster compared to the first one. I think we would need some kind of artificial slowing down of Serral's game. How important do you see, Pyry, how important do you see the mini map of the game? If we would hide that for Serral, would that be any good?
I have to say that the minimap is pretty important, so we'll see. Also, might want to also remove the resource tab. I mean, what's it called? The resource indicators at the top right. I don't think Serral really needs
indicator.
them. Supply indicator as well. Serral doesn't need that. He has the sixth sense to know.
Yeah, I think Serral doesn't need the minimap nor the resources. So actually what's happening right now, Hannes is doing the magic to the screen and hiding those fields, well, basically with post-it notes. So let's continue to the third game. Now it's once again Sludge 2 against Serral. Please go ahead.
So, I don't think you should see the screen now. So we have hidden some of the ports with post-it notes. So the resources and the supply are both hidden, as well as the minimap. So we'll have to see how Serral can handle this kind of obstacles. So let's go into the game.
He doesn't even know what the map is.
Yeah, the map is called Year 0 and it's in the current map pool. And Serral is playing usually as the green player on the top left corner and Sludgeman's on the upper right.
We require more minerals.
So,
So how do you think this will go?
well, I think it will go the same way as the previous game, but
Do you think there will be no difference?
maybe a bit. Like hiding the minimap might actually change some things, but I think Serral will be still using the camera control groups, so he just can jump around the map. But the hotkeys are different. than he's usually using with the camera groups, as they are starting from F5, I think. So they
no.
might not be that easy to use.
Oh,
So it's an additional obstacle here. So it might actually make the game a bit more interesting.
Yeah, he might also get supply block when he doesn't see the indicator late game. So
Yeah.
I feel like a player of this caliber usually probably sees it. I mean, just in his mind, you just get used to the amount that like you need to make. You know,
Yeah,
for
it-
every 4 roaches you make 1 overload and whatnot.
Yeah, he won't steal supply block for 5 minutes or just forget to make drones after 20.
Yeah.
But there might be small differences. I think the minimap is the most important thing, but actually just hiding the money is also useful because it makes it harder to plan about taking upgrades and when to take the fourth base or something, if we can get that far.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get that far.
Yeah, let's see.
I hope my bot this time sees the natural base of Serral. And we'll see if the Overlord peeks in there. I'm not sure if we can see it from Serral's vision, but I hope so.
Yeah,
Also,
so
I have to mention right now that I have another friend who was working with the bot named Antis. Well, that was his is his nickname, and he's a really good Starcraft player as well. So I gotta give him some credit.
yeah. So I think Serral's the first scouting overlord sees the natural base and sees some workers there, and I think it also sees the whatever. I'm sure. So Serral is going to take the third base right now, as he sees some drones on the natural base and knows that this isn't some really early rush. Benin is also being taken by Serral, so preparing to defend against lots of circlings. And yeah, sees the third base from Sludgeman as well.
Okay, so it seems like Sludgeman did see the natural since he's making a third base.
Okay, so
This will be
this kind of
it will be a little bit more of a macro game.
okay, good.
Our forces are under attack.
Though Serral shouldn't know that.
Yeah. Well, he shouldn't see the minimap either, so maybe he just doesn't know that there's third base.
Oh yeah. Well, he did see it with his screen. I think.
I know. Well, he might forget.
No. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Is there a crash?
Yeah, it seems to be a crash. I'm going to look into the game and see what's going to happen. Oh, so it's a library bug, I think, so that might be my mistake. That's not my code, but it might be my mistake still.
Yeah, it's hard to say. So there's been a lot of issues with. Well, we should get this back up, I think. But so there's been a lot of issues with Blizzard not releasing the latest version of Starcraft binary for Linux, and some other things like changing some stuff in the API a lot. And we have to run the game on an older version. There might be some bugs related to that.
Yeah, so what's going to happen now? We are going to restart the game. It's going to take about a minute.
Okay, so this happens every now and then. Not every code is perfect. Right now, Tuomas is fixing the bugs as we speak. Right now, how did you see any changes in Serral's game while he didn't have his minimap or resources visible?
No, I didn't see anything, but the screen that I was watching from is pretty small, so it's hard to tell. Did you feel any difference, Serral?
Well, I actually realized how much I use the minimap. I'm actually clicking the minimap constantly, I feel like, after playing that game. Because now I wasn't sure how to go to places, because I always click and place when I go somewhere. Also when I send a unit somewhere, I always click them through minimap. So, I mean, it's going to be a bit harder. Right now, so far it hasn't been any difference since there's not too much to do, but...
Mm-hmm. Are you still, like, you're clicking on the minimap? Are you still hitting the right spots?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's the paper thing, so I kind of still know if it's 0-0, I kind of know where his natural or main base is. So it's not too hard to click there.
Okay, now Hannes winked that we can continue the game. So let's see how it goes this time.
Yeah, so we are not actually continuing the game. We are just restarting it. because it's not that easy to continue the game from replay when the client cannot record replay when it crashes. But we are going into the second attempt of the third game right now. So the corners are actually the same. So Serral is still playing on the top left corner.
I really hope it's not a bug with the size of the year zero map. There might be maybe some of them. It tried to. I think it looked like it tried to reference a position that was outside of the map.
Yeah, might be.
So I hope it won't happen again.
Yeah. Let's hope.
A thing that my bot does, Sludge does, is that if let's say there's a flying unit and it flies off vision, it will still keep tracking it. Like it won't know where it is. It will just guess at where the enemy overlord or something will go, and it might just like think that it went off map or something like that. But it normally should be limited to the edge of the map. So
Okay.
I don't know what happened there.
Well, we can always change the map to something else if that happens again. But let's hope it will be fine this time. So the build is still the same standard build. Serral is taking the gas and building a spawning pool at the same point of time, I think. Yeah, at 16 or 17 supply. And the first overlord is still going to be at your natural pretty soon. So no difference from this side, and from what I know about the other bot sludgement, I think it's going to do the same build again.
Yeah, it will do the same build again. There's it basically just has one build for ZVZ right now, but there's a very dynamic system, so it can switch builds at any time. There's not that many coded in, but basically if it sees like enemy doesn't have a natural, it will switch builds to a roach defense or something. Not against Zerg, but against other races.
Okay. So we'll have to see. So the first scout overlord is going to see the natural base, I think right now. Yeah, it's his creeps, so the base is here, and now
There
it's
it
the
is,
base as
true
well.
honorable macro player.
Yeah. And some links moving across the map as well.
It's interesting to see that the bot is just chasing these links still, but I think it's just that the enemy hatchery is such a low priority target that it doesn't want to go there. It just wants to chase these links instead.
Yeah. I kind of understand. Like, I would just chase the links as well.
Yeah.
So Serral is taking the third base pretty soon, and he sees Sludgement taking third base as well, I think. Yeah, the workers there. Yeah, the base is taken. So both players going up to third bases. Serral's bane nest is going to be complete pretty soon. The circling speed will be complete as well.
Yeah, one thing that's poor that Sludge is not doing here is that one of those links should probably be scouting the mineral line to see how many workers Serral has made. It's very possible that they might just be all inning, but Serral being an honorable macro god, he's just macroing.
Yeah, you don't have to scout Serral. You know what he's doing. He's doing macro, more bases, more drones, more economy, maybe some upgrades even.
Oh, he is actually attacking now though with a couple of... This is very small pressure with like 3 or 4 banes, and there's a...
Oh, there's a crash. So we'll be having to actually switch back to the previous map, I think. Okay, so we'll be canceling the last game. Maybe covering parts of the screen was too much for the bot as well, as Serral must play a bit differently when screen is covered. So I think we will be going to talk about the games a bit right now, but unfortunately we can't play the last game if the bot keeps crashing. I think it's bug in the library, but I'm sure. But if it's bug in the library, I'm going to create a GitHub issue about that, and if it's not, then then it's bug in the Sludgement's code, so we can't do much about that. But yeah, let's go to discuss something a bit about the games.
Yeah, so just for a disclaimer, neither one of these maps have been tested. So I haven't tested Sludge on either one of them because they're not on the bot ladders which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a newest ladder rule, so we just kind of assumed that everybody would test this, but apparently not. And I understand that maybe we should have gone with the maps into official bot ladder rule, but
At least one of them. There's
Yeah.
many bot ladders right now. It's pretty cool.
yeah. So, Serral, what do you think about the games overall? Like, are the bots better than Naruto or better than in the February event?
Well, they're for sure better than the February event, but obviously I can't say too much about the Naruto game since it was just a build that was pretty easy to defend, so you can't really tell too much about the skill level of that bot. But yeah, I mean, the bots have improved. I think there would have been a chance for me to lose this game. I don't think I would have changed my play too much, and then suddenly there would have been 10 roaches at my natural. With me just droning, maybe I would have died, but yeah, it's very hard when because I'm not gonna go to my scouting overlords to actually see what's happening there all the time, so I can miss a lot of stuff. It would have been exciting games, I think. But yeah, I mean, the first game already, the bot was at least improved it Ling Bane control for sure. Last time it kind of just ran into my first Banes.
Well, to be fair, none of the other bots in the first event actually made Banes. So didn't have any of that logic.
Yeah, but this time it was running nicely. Didn't really run into the Banes. Didn't really see how it actually controlled Ling Bane bars since we didn't have any of those, but just at least dodging the Banes was pretty nice.
Yep, I saw you run into one of the Banes.
Intentional.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so in the February events and in the last stream, we had some bots, but what do you think? What do you have changed after February or in the last month?
Literally everything.
Everything.
It's a completely new bot, so
Yeah,
everything's
you
been
renamed it to Sludge 2.
Yeah, that really gives it away, doesn't it?
Yeah, so everything's changed.
Yeah, and it's actually, even with the Sludge 2 name, it's changed everything again. Well, not everything, but like a lot of things. Yeah, actually, recently it fell down quite a bit on ladder because I pushed a new version that had like all of the unit control stuff changed. It's fixed now, mostly, but...
So how about you, Aki? Have you changed a lot?
Yeah, we played with Sharpen Edge in the other bot ladder a lot, and we had to prepare for a lot of different things in there that didn't exist in the Artificial Overmind ladder. So we had to reiterate our build orders, and I just recently remade our unit control. It now uses a pathing library to create pathings, and it uses that to make influence and use the influence to position the units. I think I had to make that in a rush, and it is still not finished. So I think it might have booked a bit against Serral. The Immortals run into the roaches for some reason. It shouldn't really do that, but I think something's wrong with the current micro still.
Yeah, but the build was still kind of standard meta build. Like, it was a correct build. So how do you know what do you build? Like, are you a good Starcraft player? Like, in what level do you play?
My level is somewhere around Platinum, so I'm not really a good player, and I hardly play any. I don't have really too much time to do that. The build was actually suggested by a USA Grandmaster, Jax.
Oh, okay.
So I just used that build to create something that could be Sludge 2.
How about you, Pyry? Like, is the build something you do yourself, or did you just copy it from somebody else, or?
Yeah, no. So I'm Masters 1 with Zerg. So I basically just tried to code the way that I play for the most part, and that seemed to be pretty successful. I think I have a little bit of an edge over the players who haven't played quite as much.
Yeah, that helps.
So yeah,
Other
but
strategies.
Sludge is completely reactive, so it's really it's the same responses as I would use for the most part. There's just some issues with.
Yeah, have you played against your own bot? Like
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't played against
but
it.
I had Andis play against it at some point, but that was like a previous version a month ago.
Okay.
And he played it against with Terran. He said that it was impressive, but
Okay.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
He didn't win or anything.
Yeah, I'm going to play against it. Some games. Serral actually challenged me before this event to play some games against the Sludgeman's bot, and I think the bot is actually quite good. So I'm going to see what can I do against it. So how do you all three? How do you like end up playing Starcraft 2? Like, what was the reason? Like, why Starcraft? And
I originally played Starcraft in the Wings of Liberty. I was pretty good at then, but I don't really have the APM to keep up with people that have played a long time.
that's why you have to play Protoss. It helps. Like you only need 10 or 15 APM.
Yeah. I think it requires a bit more than that, to be honest, but I used to play Terran back then, and it was really exhausting to play the ladder, and I stopped playing, but I still like the game somewhat, and when we got the bot ladder, the original artificial competition, I joined with some of my friends, because I don't have to worry about ladder anxiety in the bot ladder.
Yeah, it's easier that way. So how about you, Piru?
Yeah. So I got the game in like 2011 or 2010, but I didn't really play it. I just watched tournaments because I thought that was the best way to enjoy the game. I really like playing it. But there was some, like in 2016 or 17, there were a couple of tournaments just like between friends, and I just played a little bit, and I've just kind of kept at it in a way where I just play whenever there's like tournaments, and there's a nice Finnish scene now, so I play there, and I'll just play whenever those are on, basically, and that's just it. Like it's not like my favorite game or anything, but it's an RTS, so I can play it, you know.
Yeah, the best type of game. So how about you, Serral? Was it your Protor? I think you played Brood War.
Yeah, I started through my Protor in Brood War already, like a lot of years ago already, and I don't know. There's not really too much of story. I just followed his steps, and after he stopped, I kind of just wanted to keep going. I mean, at that point, like when he was still pretty good, I was also decent at the game already at that point. But yeah, I mean, there's not too much story to it. Just through my Protor, and I really like the game.
Yeah,
I really like one-on-ones in general, and yeah,
it's a good format. Have you played other like real-time strategy games?
Not really, honestly. Just Brood War and Starcraft 2. I have played. I mean, obviously I've tested some games, but I don't think I've played any other game for over 10 hours even. Just tested some other games.
Okay. How about you two?
Yeah, so I play Supreme Commander, and so I just, if you don't know what it is, go to faforever.com. Just want to give a little plug here.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I played a lot of other games too, but that's like that's my baby. That's what I love. Okay.
Yeah, I have played some Dawn of War 1, I think. The game I used to play a lot was Quake, so that isn't really RTS. So, but I have played some games like casually.
Yeah. I personally have played Age of Empires 2 quite a lot, and it's actually the only other game in addition to Starcraft where Finland has decent amount of success. Like
so in Supreme Commander, in Supreme Commander we have good.
Oh, really? I haven't followed the scene. Is there a scene? Like play
tournaments.
Okay, yeah.
And
cool.
I mean, it's obviously not like a big money thing, but there's about 10,000 players, like active
Oh,
players.
okay. That's actually
it's
pretty
really
good.
cool. It's really cool. Finland is performing really well there.
Oh,
even
okay.
if I say so myself.
Cool. So there weren't any like game programming APIs for other games than Starcraft 2 and Brute War, but it might be really good to actually try to code some bots on the other games as well. I might try that in the future. But how did you two end up doing like Starcraft 2 bot programming? Like, how did you just jump into it?
Well, we have joined a lot of Reaktor events, and I have done a lot of the challenges that Reaktor has made, and so I got the newsletter for the Artificial Overmind challenge back in the January of December, whatever it was, and I thought this might be fun, so let's try it.
Was it?
Yeah. It was exhausting, let's say, but it was fun.
I was I just wanted to try it out when I saw the news. I can't remember where I saw it first, but I mean, I saw that there was a event coming up by Reaktor, so I was like, okay, well, let's just try this thing, and I just ended up spending way too much time on it. Like every day after work, you just like come home and like code for 8 more hours before you sleep.
Yeah, that's. I think that's pretty common, like in programming things, and also with Starcraft. Like when you just get home from work and then play 8 more hours and then neglect your sleep and then go to work next morning. Not a good thing to do, but it's still feels good. So next week we'll be having a WCS tournament at Assembly. So you will be playing there, Serral. And I think we have another player here watching the live event, Jugalian. So, what do you think? Like, is it going to go well for you?
I'm hoping to just take one map.
One map. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, honesty. Yeah, but I just want to add that I also tried to code. At some point, I took part in the first competition in February.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot more difficult to code than people think. I mean, the kids in Twitch chat, they can try this themselves if they think so easy. So I just wanted to bring that to the conversation, and it's all open. You know, you can go to the website and follow the instructions and try it out yourself. Yeah. So lots of respect to obviously Serral and also the coders.
Yeah, thanks. So, Serral, what do you think? Can you get all the available points to get to BlizzCon? I think you're already going to BlizzCon, but
Yeah, well, I'm pretty much guaranteed. I mean, I'm 100% guaranteed going to BlizzCon.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's gonna be a fun event in Finland for sure.
Yeah.
It's the first one in is it 4 years now in Finland? We haven't had an event in a long time.
Yeah, I think last one was 4 years ago.
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah.
So it's very nice to have an event again, and I hope it goes well for everyone, so we can have more of these. And yeah, I mean, I think I have a good shot at the event. It's gonna be around the same player base I'm playing all the time, and then a bunch of Koreans. I don't think it's exactly not the Marus and Darks, but it's still a very good lineup for sure, and gonna be exciting for sure.
Yeah. I think I'll be seeing you there, both of you two, but mostly you, as I think you will be getting quite far in there as well. I think the final game might be interesting, as it's the first game between you and some of the maybe not top Koreans, but one of the good Koreans in Finland.
Yeah, I mean, all the games are gonna be good. Or even just foreigner matches are played good nowadays. None of the games are bad.
The state of foreign Starcraft is trying to, or is getting a bit better. Have been getting for a few years.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, let's hope the Koreans don't go back to the brute war, because we need them in the Starcraft 2 scene. Like,
I mean, that's not gonna happen exactly like that, but.
Well,
I mean, the skins.
I'm going back to brute war. Like, have you seen the cartoon edition? Like, where there's the core bots graphics and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it looks very nice, but it doesn't change too much, does it?
No. It's the next big RTS. Like, nobody's gonna play anything else.
I mean, that's possible, but unlikely.
Okay. Well, thank you all, and I won't be seeing you here anymore for the stream because this is unfortunately our last stream. But I will be seeing usual and maybe even you two in the WCS next week. And thank you for the bots and for the games.
Thank you for hosting the events and stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, that was it for this time, and we won't be having another stream anymore. But thank you for watching, and thank you for the games. And the ladder is still open, so feel free to make new bots and play against each other. The competition is still quite interesting and still quite hard. And yeah, go there and make new bots. But for now, thank you and goodbye.